Recently, McKinsey released a new report based on second quarter data, titled China Consumption in the New Normal. Let's start with McKinsey's core conclusion. China's consumer market has entered a new normal of single-digit growth. Compared to before, the pace has slowed down, but that doesn't mean there are no opportunities in consumption. There are two key indicators. First, overall, consumers are more confident in both the macroeconomy and their personal financial situation. Second, people expect that consumption levels in 2025 will be on par with the previous year, no longer declining, which means things have stabilized. The data in this report may seem unremarkable at first glance, but if you break down the consumer groups and product categories, you can still uncover new opportunities for consumption growth. From the perspective of demographics, last year's McKinsey report already pointed out the ongoing divergence in consumer confidence among different groups, and in the first half of this year, this trend has further evolved. First, the confidence of rural consumers has significantly strengthened, especially among middle-aged and elderly consumers who have shifted from pessimism to optimism. Last year's report showed that this group had a high rate of unemployment, low income, and relied on transfer income, leading to an overall pessimistic outlook. This year, thanks to rural revitalization and faster income growth in rural areas, the consumption confidence of this group has noticeably increased, making them the most optimistic demographic. Second, consumer confidence in first and second-tier cities has dropped significantly. Low-income millennials in these cities were already pessimistic, worried about job instability, rising living costs, and property depreciation, and their consumer confidence continues to decline. Affluent seniors in first and second-tier cities have shifted from optimism to pessimism. This group includes many mid to high-level corporate executives or business owners with high average household disposable income, and they used to be the most optimistic group. However, this year, due to asset depreciation and poor business performance, their consumer confidence has dropped by about 20%. At the same time, urban Generation Z remains the most optimistic consumer group. Compared to other age groups, Generation Z is mostly made up of single students and ordinary employees. They tend to be relatively optimistic about the macroeconomy and their family's financial situation, generally believing that their future income will increase and that there's no need to be overly frugal. Finally, from the perspective of product categories, consumer willingness cannot be generalized, and the differences between categories are widening. It can be seen that there is still significant growth in experience-based consumption, such as education, health supplements and health services, medical services, and travel, while consumption of products like appliances, tobacco, and alcohol continues to decline. Overall, the growth in experience-based consumption indicates that people are increasingly valuing their personal feelings and are willing to spend money to gain happiness. This major trend also explains why today's businesses are placing greater emphasis on emotional value. After breaking down these consumer groups and categories, you should now have a clear idea of where the growth opportunities in consumption lie.